Hello everyone, and welcome to a new MapleStory video. Today we're gonna have a guide for Lotus and Damien. We'll start with Lotus. It's something a comment requested on one of my videos, and I thought it might take me a bit of time to make it, but like, why not? I'll just make it. If I'm in EU, like I have extra runs to do, so I might as well just make it. So anyway. Let me just... so anyway, before we begin, let me just give you a short rundown on how the fight works. So the first phase is basically just trying to survive and kill the machine as fast as possible, while the lasers just roll and sometimes they speed up, sometimes they slow down, sometimes they change directions. You need to react to it accordingly and just, you know, kill the machine before you die out. Second phase is basically just you versus Lotus with a bunch of stuff falling from the sky. It's not very difficult, it's just you need to get used to the movements and the hitboxes of everything, and you'll be just fine with that. And third phase is basically just the same as second phase. It's just a bit more stuff than second phase going on. That makes it a bit harder, and the debris could kill you actually. But anyway, without any further ado, let's just go ahead and start the fight now. So we're gonna do normal Lotus. I would heavily recommend going with your full burst and going all out on the first phase and trying to get out of it as soon as possible. Don't try to dash through the lasers like I do, because I have a shield, so I survive it, but if you don't have a shield like me, you will die. So yeah, again, I would recommend just full bursting the entire thing. So let's just get out of it as fast as possible. We don't want to lose any lives for this phase. But in case you don't manage to one-shot it, and you actually have to fight the boss, so just know that those little robots, they explode and they give you certain debuffs, so just be careful. When you want to avoid the lasers, you just go up here and just teleport with the teleporter. Be careful of the debris, don't get hit by the debris. As for the robots, if you touch them and then just move away, you won't get the debuffs, but you need to move away quickly so that the explosion doesn't catch you. Yeah, like that. I'm just gonna try and wait until the lasers change directions so I can show you the other portal on this map, which is right above me, right here. Okay, so now that the laser changed its directions, we can use this portal and go to this platform. And that's how you avoid the lasers, and you just basically need to do it until you beat the machine, which is not very difficult. Again, you can avoid the little robots by just touching them and making them explode and then moving away. Try not to touch the lasers because they one-shot you. If you have a shield of some kind, use it and just pass through the lasers. If you have a teleport or a blink, you can just teleport through the lasers again as well. And if you have an iframe, you can just iframe and just pass through the lasers as well. And now for second phase, let's just do a big burst for it, because, you know, we want to get the second phase dead as well as soon as possible, just like first phase. You want to just kill the boss in general as fast as you can. Now, as you can see, sometimes Lotus will drop platforms like that, and then it will summon a laser. So next time it does that, I'll try to show you how you know when the lasers will come, or when the electricity comes, because there is a small visual cue that you can actually use to understand when the lightning comes. So yeah. So if you pay close attention to Lotus, sometimes he will just stutter for a second. He will just like stop and then continue moving. That's the visual cue for him using an ability like summoning the platforms in the sky, and also for activating the lightning. So let me just do nothing until he does that, so we can see it live. Here, you saw if you noticed. Oh, again, Like, did you see how he how he stutters for a second? That's how you know that he's using his ability. Kind of died for that, but whatever. That's how you know that he's gonna summon his platforms, and then also when he summons his lightning. So, for example, right now he summoned the platforms. I can stay here until I see him stutter. There, he stuttered, and then I need to get onto platform. I can use blink to avoid the taking the knockback. Also, there is another thing you can do with Lotus. So, when you stand in place, if Lotus walks to you, he will stop immediately when he's in his max range to attack you. So if you stand in place and Lotus walks up to you, he will usually stop immediately when he gets into max range for his attack. So if you just make one step backwards, it will usually be enough for you to avoid his attack, like that. So it's not 100% of the time thing. Like sometimes he will stop a bit earlier or a bit later and do some other stuff, or maybe he will just delay his attack a bit. So pay attention to that. But as for the platforms, you can just wait until you see him stutter again and then jump on the platform. There he stuttered before the platforms even landed on the floor, so that's why I had to jump pretty early. Okay, here's another thing with this phase. You can just jump over the attack that he does, that pushes you. Be careful not to get stunned when you jump. And you can also use blink and just float above it, and it won't push you away. So that's also a good way to avoid the lightning. Now let's go over to phase 3, because I'm pretty sure that's all there is to phase 2. Oh, there it is. The stutter. So I need to get on the platform as soon as possible. As for the debris, I don't really feel like I have anything to say about it. You just need to avoid as many of them as you can. None of them can one-shot you, but some of them stun you, so they could kill you if you get stunned when he summons the lightning, so just be careful of that. The bigger ones stun you, the small ones, these ones don't stun you, but the rest of them do. So yeah, just pay attention to that. They don't deal a whole lot of damage, so you won't die from it, but just be careful. Now for the fade phase, there are a bunch of mechanics that you should take care of or pay attention to. So first there's this there's the platforms again, and here you can't really jump over his attack. So if I try to jump over his attack, well, he doesn't attack, but if I tried to jump over his attack, he would just like hit me anyway. Sometimes he would do this attack where he just goes into the sky and he becomes untargetable and shoots those purple balls. Those purple balls will one-shot you, so don't get hit by them. In this phase there's also this debris, which one-shots, so don't get hit by that. This demolishizer it's called. As you can see, it killed me. By the way, both third and second phase have this ball jumping around, but don't worry about it. It really does nothing. It just deals damage. You should only worry about it once you get into Hard Lotus, because in Hard Lotus it becomes a bit more dangerous. But before that, you don't really have to worry about it. Now, as for those lasers that sometimes come out, like those gravitational lasers, they just bump you into the sky and that's it. So now let's look at, yeah, as you can see, I can't jump over it. That's what I wanted to show you. I can't jump over the push skill on the third phase. You can only do it on second phase, so don't try to. Also know that Lotus has touch damage on third phase, so if you're playing a thief and you use Last Resort, just be careful not to die to the touch damage, because it does deal not too much, but it does deal some damage. And let me show you again. Oh shit. Yeah, okay, never mind. Anyway, that's all of the important patterns, but there are a few minor ones as well. Let's see if it does. Oh, that's one. He just does this thing where he pulls you in with he like sucks you into him. That's important to notice that when he does that, because sometimes he will pull you into him and then push you back into a debris like that. So let's say a demolishizer would have dropped exactly where he pushed me. I would have just died. So, by the way, the laser and the platforms work the exact same way as in the second phase, other than the fact that the pushing attack just hits for in a higher vertical range. Other than that, everything else is basically the same. He summons it with a bit of a stutter, and then just, yeah. And this is the last pattern that I wanted to show you. So when you stand on this field right here, you can only dash, you can't jump at all. So as you can see in the chat, it says, you have been weakened, making you unable to jump. So yeah, just pay attention to that, because you can use dash moves like this, but you can jump, so be careful of that. And that's it for Lotus. So let's just let me just kill him real quick, and let's move on to Damien. Sometimes you have these situations where you have to choose what to get hit by. It's important to know what you can get hit by and what you can't. So yeah, sometimes you're gonna have to choose, sadly, in this boss fight, because it's a big clusterfuck of RNG. So now it's time to do Damien. By the way, for every boss that you do, always try to use as many buffs as you can if you feel the need to. I don't use the buffs because right now I'm way stronger than I should be for those bosses, so I don't really care to buff. Okay, so let's begin with the fact that there's this sword flying around on the map. So this is one of the things that you should be careful about. So this sword will fly around the map and randomly hit you. From time to time, it will just do this effect right here of the crosshair, is that how you say it? Whatever. So sometimes it will do this effect, and then it will plunge into the floor like that and do a few shockwaves of flaming attacks like that. This is the main attack that you should be careful about, or that will be the most annoying thing for you when you fight Damien, this sword thing that flies around. Second major point about this fight is those stacks that I have above my head. So, as you can see over here, there is this menu or thingy or whatever it is. I don't know what to call it. I'm just dying to random shit. Okay, anyway, there is this thing on the screen. This that counts down from 30. Every time it reaches 0, you get one more stack over your head. Those altars will spawn, or those shrines, I guess, will spawn around the map from time to time, and you need to click them and get a whole bar charged up. So you interact with them obviously with the interact key, so that's pretty simple. You can gain more stacks from some of Damien's attacks. So once he does, let's see, this attack for example, if he hits me with that, it will give me one more stack. Sometimes he will go into the sky like that and just do this attack that deals like 90% of your health. Each of those balls will deal 90% of your health, so don't get hit too much by them. Then there's this one that he did just now. This is another one-shot. For the swipe attack, where he does this purple cloud, if you are inside of the purple cloud and then you move it while you are in there, you'll get hit and then it will give you another stack. As for the cleansing of the stacks, we said there's a shrine and we need to touch it. So by the way, you can just jump above this attack like I said before. So there's a shrine and you can just take it, but if you get hit by anything, you stop the count. If you die to the stacks like that, there is another sword being summoned. So as you can see, there are two swords now, and this sword acts exactly the same as the other sword. The only difference is that it's a bit smaller, so the hitbox while it flies around is a bit smaller, but basically it's exactly the same attack. So just try not to get to 7 stacks because it will be annoying. As for the shrine, once you get hit by anything, the charge up will cancel, and you'll have to start over from the beginning, so be careful of that. As for those purple or those blue and dark balls, if you get hit by them, you have this mini game that you have to do. And then if you misclick one of your keys, you get stunned for however long, and you can't really heal, you can't really do anything unless you have this passive that I just got popped. And then if anything hits you, you just die because you can't really do anything in response. And yeah, that's basically the first phase. It's really disoriented, I think. I don't know if it's a good explanation of the first phase, but I tried to break it down. It's not very... It's a bit messy, but I tried to do my best in breaking everything down. Hopefully this was helpful. Let's go into second phase now. So let me just kill him real quick. Oh, I guess I could add that once you're on the shrine and you wanna cleanse, let me just wait for another shrine actually. So once there is a shrine and you wanna cleanse, if you wanna avoid the sword, for example, you can just duck and hope it misses you. You can also just move around while you're cleansing, so while you're holding your interact key, you can just move around left to right as long as you're in the area of the shrine. So, for example, if I walk here, I can just walk around. I can just stand at the very edge. As long as I don't get out of the area of the shrine, I'm fine with just cleansing. A quick tip for avoiding the sword is when you think it's about to plunge into the floor, just go to one of the corners and let it plunge there. So when it does this, you just wait, and then when it plunges, you'll have plenty of space to fight the boss without interruptions from the sword, and also to cleanse. By the way, the shrines always spawn from like here to, I don't know, somewhere around here. It never spawns in the corners of the map, so just never have the sword in the middle, because then it will block the shrines for you, so you wouldn't be able to cleanse. And don't be afraid of the sword as well, like you can stand right here and it won't hit you. And even if you touch the sword, so long as you're not on it when the explosion happens, you're fine. And also I should probably add that the sword deals like 90% of your health, or 80, something like that. It doesn't one-shot you, like the sword explosions on the floor. So like it is very dangerous, but it's not a one-shot, so just be aware of that. Once Damien reaches 30% health, he will go into his second phase, which will probably happen really soon. So if you want to go into second phase, I would recommend that you wait for an altar to appear and then push Lotus or Damien to his 30% health, and then you can cleanse while you're in this animation. Obviously I didn't cleanse because I started it a bit too late, but anyway, let's just look at the second phase. So as you can see, there is an attack very similar to the first phase, where he goes into the sky and drops a bunch of balls. It works exactly the same, just hitboxes are a bit smaller. There is this swipe attack that he does. You can duck under it so you don't get hit. If you get hit, you gain 1 stack. There is this attack where if you touch one of those slashes, you just die instantly. There is this attack where he dives from the sky. This is also a one-shot. There is the blue ball. So, okay, wait, for this attack, as you can see, it doesn't reach all the way to the end of the map. Like, it depends on where he does the attack. Sometimes he will do it closer to the middle, and then it will reach the end of the map, but most of the times it doesn't reach the end of the map, so you can just go there. That's the dive, where he dives in, and if he hits you at any point of this attack, you just get 1 shot. You can duck under the swipe. Okay, so for this attack, you can also stand on top of him, right on top of him, and he won't eat you. As for the blue ball deals damage to you when you stand on top of it. And also the healing from potion, so if I use a potion, it will give me just a bit of healing, not the full amount. The damage from the ball doesn't stop you from cleansing, so cleansing in the second phase is pretty easy. You just need to do it in the correct timing. You can also duck while cleansing, remember, so you can duck under his swipe attack. Another thing about this ball is that it reduces your final damage. So if you stand on top of the ball, you'll deal way less damage. So notice how my damage is now 13 millions. So look how my damage is now 13 millions while I'm standing on top of the ball. And now when I'm not standing on top of the ball, it goes up to 100 million. So yeah, it's like very big impact. So if you want to burst, just try to avoid the ball. The best way to do that is just to drag the ball all the way to one corner, and then once Damien goes to another corner, you just, or for example, if he goes into the sky like that, you drag the ball all the way to the corner, and then you jump to Damien and you bind him, and then you burst before the ball reaches you. That's the best way to do it. In the second phase, you also die instantly once you get to 7 stacks. So you can do what I just did right now and just stay dead if you died before the 7th stack, and then just cleanse once you're alive. I can't cleanse because the game is bugging out. Nice, very cool. So just like in the first phase, once you die in the second phase, the sword will appear and start chasing you down, and it's really annoying to deal with, so try not to die, or try not to get 7 stacks. Okay, now there is another type of attack that the Damien starts doing once he reaches a certain amount of HP. The last attack is where he just teleports and then starts charging a bomb, and you need to you'll have like a clicking game of left right left right left right, right, like that, and then you need to click it as fast as you can and get out of the stun, and then damage Damien to a significant amount, and then he will stop charging the bomb. So here's the attack. Now you need to click left right as fast as you can and try not to die to the balls, and if you don't damage him fast enough, you'll die, like I did. If you click fast enough, you probably are gonna be okay. If you see him just teleport to the side, you can also iframe before he stuns you, and then you'll be able to just attack him before he manages to do anything, so that's pretty simple. Also know that once he teleports to one side of the map or the other, he will usually do a swipe attack, or after every action that he does, just be prepared for a swipe attack. Okay, so now I'm gonna just end the fight because I'm about to die out because I'm too busy explaining. And yeah, hopefully this was helpful in any way. I don't feel like I gave any important tips, but I don't feel like there's any important tips, honestly. I feel like it's all about practicing the mechanics and just getting used to it. And yeah,